what happens is like whenever they are doing repetitive tasks, they have to write the same code repeatedly again and again in their Python code. Okay, so that is like it will become kind of hardened for them, right? So that is a realization they came to that they are kind of doing the repetitive task again and again. That's why function entered into the Python program. So functional means it's kind of, for example, it's kind of, you can say some uh, code machinery. Okay? It can do a task whenever it calls. For example, in your laboratory, you will give primers and your sample and some conditions. Okay, so you will give all the things inside the PCR clip, then you put it in the PCR. Then it will gives you amplified DNA like that. It's just you are just calling a function. Then it will do all the tasks that was instructed inside the function. Previously, we saw that variables, right? Variables it used to store your data. Likewise, function is used to store your your code. Okay, a bunch of code you can use it whenever you want to run a long code. You just call that function to execute the task. How the code, I mean, how the functions is look like this. Whenever you have to type a function, you have to start with the def. Okay? Then you have to type, for example, welcome. This is the a function look like circle. So what it really means is def means you just saying that Python that I'm going to write a function here. Okay. This is the name of your function. Okay. So this applies as why you can put like name inside that input, and then you can change this as a like this. Change like this. So what it here means this is the parameters. Okay? Parameters means you are just giving an input. Whenever you are just calling the function, you will give an input. So that input will be stored in this parameter. So after that, it will need the colon. Then you have to give some space. Then start your code here. From here. Okay, what of the code? Then start from this line. Then after that, this is the just what can we say? This is just a function. Okay, it doesn't give you any output. If I run this, it doesn't give any results. Why? Because it just, even though if you do print, it doesn't give any results because it's inside the function. Inside the function means unless until it kind of called, it won't give the results. It won't do a task. Okay, so how can you call that function as? You can say welcome sample. You can put welcome in the sample. So at the time, if I say like this, okay, so and then I put run, I'm just running it. So it says welcome to new lesson sample. Why it was kind of run right now is you are just calling the function by its name. Welcome means you're calling the function. Okay. Then you put the parameters here. Parameters is your name. That's another kind of this is the structure of functions here. Okay. So now we can go into the example. First one we can see is quality check. So you have a huge amount of DNA sequence. So you have to identify the quality of sequence. So for that, you have to write a function. This is a function. Value set sequence. Sequence. It's sick. It's, okay, this is the pro. So why I put here written here means whenever you put print, it will show you the output. Okay. Written means it will give the results to the user. For example, I'm just typing here one sequence DNA. I'm just calling this sequence. I mean, call the function. Sequence. So if I run the now this number. So it says invalid sequence. Why not? It contains too much of n. So if I remove the another, if I add another, set. So right now it says invalid sequence for first, invalid sequence for second. So why I put here n, okay? Because whenever we do sequencing, the center sequencing, what happens now? It gives a sequence. Okay? Whenever the sequence was not clear, if there is any false signals at the time, the sequencer put itself n. Okay, n means kind of an unknown sequence present in that sequence. So if too much of n present in the sequence, then it means it have a low quality. Okay, we can say such a low quality sequence, invalid sequence, low quality sequence, or otherwise we can say it's high quality sequence. Okay, so I hope you guys will understand this. What I just explaining the whole thing again. So def means you're calling the function. So valid set means the function's name you are giving. Set means parameters. Parameters means this is the parameter. I mean the data you are giving. Okay? This is the set. Okay, storing here. So this is the if class, if and else. Okay, that we need a program that should be stored in this function. So this is already you know. And what is the thing is written. Why you don't put a print here is if you put print, then it will show like whenever you are just running the code, you can put a print. Okay. But if inside your function, you don't need to put a print. Instead, you can put return. Return means it's just giving something. So it's taking the code, I mean data from you and did analysis and then return output to you. That is the means returns. Okay. Then it will then what we do here is we are just giving the variable here DNA1, and then we are what we do is we are calling our function. Okay. Instead of writing a code, you're just calling that function. So in that calling function, we have to put a parameter as well. So in the parameter, you can say it's like this is the sequence. In the by putting the parameter, you are saying that this is the sequence. I'm just giving to the function valid sec for running it inside the code whatever you have. Okay, like that. Then after that, you have to print the DNA, the variable. Okay, why you have to print a DNA? I mean variable instead of the valid sequence. This one because whenever you are calling this and then it will go into the like ask I mean do the task and then give the results as a return. Okay, it will return the output here and store it in here only. So that's why we put a DNA instead of valid set or this sequence. Okay, then we can go with the DNA converter. Yes. Sequences. I'm just running it. Sequences. Yes. It says, yeah, okay. I didn't put a I mean, the uh, parameter here. That's what it was same as a sequence, right? It's in changed. So instead of just putting a sequence like this sequence template place, you have to give a inside a variable. Otherwise, it will confuse. Like it will everything put a set set, then it will confuse for that. So like we are changing the sequence and then storing it to the variable as a, same as name set, then returning it to the DNA. Then we are printing it. We are just replacing T2. So it is kind of like you are just storing it like a list. You can replace replace into uh, T2 and you can change it into instead of anything like A2C, T2T kind of thing. You can convert for DNA to RNA by changing the sequence. Okay. Next one is you can like, count a mutation through this def function as well. So you have a proof sequence of it. For example, now you are having a two sequence. So you have to identify mutation, either how much of mutation it contains. Okay. So by using the def function, you can just run that and then analyze the mutation, how much mutation. Sec. Wow. Should I see what to put this sector. How does mutation work? Mutation can give us this, and for the mutation function. Yeah. Yeah. So in that what we have did is we were just calling created a function def, and inside you are giving two parameters. One is sequence one, sequence two, and then you are just creating mutation that variable and assigning a value zero for that. Then you are just running the loop. Okay, for that means it's a kind of going as a loop. I in the range. Range means you can put, for example, if I put in the range, it's four, means it take us it's take values of zero, one, two, three. Okay, four value dependence. This is the range. Okay, whenever you're putting range, like you can also put like this two to four, one to four kind of thing. So range means you're just telling that how much of that. Okay, so sequence one. Um, And here what you do is you are just going to analyze the length of the sequence and then the whole the range. Okay. So the whole range of the sequence in the sequence one, length of the sequence one, you're just taking. And then what you're going to do is you're just analyzing the sequence one's nucleotide. It's equals to negative. It's not equal to, if it is not matching, okay, it is not matching, then count that as a mutation one. So mutation, we already saw that yesterday plus equal to means well, plus one. This is what plus equal to means. Okay. Then you are going to return mutation. Return mutation, why we are saying that after running the all the task, after running the all the codes, after running it, just return the value to the this variable DNA. That is why it's called as a return mutation. Okay? And then it will we are just giving this command. Then after that it will print DNA. Okay? Just we are going to print it. Okay, it says seven. There was a seven mutation inside it. There is a no, like there is a no changes, like there is a changes in gene. First letter is changed here. Then different changes are like here G and this G and both kind of that is similar. Apart from that, both like different things having the seven characters having the mutation. Then what we can analyze is codon count. Codon you already know that is DNA sequence. I mean three codon, three sequence, three nucleotide. It's called as a codon. Will be converted into a protein, one single protein, right? So we can count the how much codon percentage by creating a test. Yes. Uh, so, so, so instead of this, you can just put sequence length of sequence because it's sequence we are only to the sequence. So at the time we are not giving the value. So at the time you can just put a length of sequence. So that is six codon will present in the nucleotide. Why we have put like this means, uh, so why we put the double slash for a division, as I said, double slash means it means like it will remove the flow. I mean, it will, whenever we're dividing something, like for example, if there's a 10, okay, if you're dividing it into three, you will get around 9 point something, like 9 point, if you are something. So you just want to know, like, if it is commercial, 3, if it is right, if it is still 9 program, if it is comes like as a point, we don't need a point value, right? So for removing that point value, we can put it like this. If we put like this, it will only comes as a 3. Now 3 we will be zero. Oh, sorry. It will come around 3 point something, 3.80. After that, if you put like this, it will only give you 3. It will remove the decimal points. Okay, that's why we put in double points, double hash division for the for this thing. Use of return. Use of return means nothing. Like, for example, you can even put use of return means, how can I say, it's you can put this right. So in that, you are just calling this function. You are calling this function, right? So whenever you are calling the function, so it will do perform a task. Okay. Once the task was completed, okay. Once the task was completed, it will return that result, return the output to the variable for storing it. Okay. That's why we're using return here. Okay. This is what I just want to